Okay, so here we are, and begin our session. Right, we just want to get connected with our body. We live inside our body, or we live with our body, or in tandem. It's like we can never leave our body until the very end, right? Till the last breath. So we're here with our body on a journey, whatever we're doing, whatever we go through. If we go to a party, we take our body with us. If we go to the zoo, whatever, we're always taking our body on a journey. So we want to get very connected with the body. And there's also that internal body, right? And sometimes we have to journey on the emotional body as well, and it's related, right? Like sometimes if we're ill, we have to deal with the emotions as well as the physical element. So just getting our physical and emotional body aligned and balanced. But first of all, just getting connected and clear that we're in a relationship with our body by moving it. And in this way, movement becomes a medicine. It's really very medicinal to just feel the body, the weight, the place in space. So what I invite you to do here now in the beginning of today's Monday session is to just let your body weight move about, forward and back, side to side. Anything goes. You just want to feel your body. Just be with the body and walk around. Depending on how big your space is, I have quite a lot of space. I can walk all the way here, all the way back. So just find your space. You might be in a smaller space, and then you're just going to walk around that smaller space. No problem. Big space, small space. Whatever you've got in your environment to work with, you can work with that. Just walking around. I chose now to close my eyes. You can have your eyes very open or closed. I just want to feel sensation in the body. And at any time, I might acknowledge part of my body, like whatever part of my body pops into my mind. I might just say, hello, elbow, or hello, right elbow. I don't know why that came into my mind, but it did. So I just said hello. And you can have this out loud or inside, internal. And just, oh, hello, left knee. Just anything. Like seeing the body. But just walking around, seeing the body. Anything goes, just walking through space. My glutes, my bum, I just feel like aware of the muscles of my bum. The top of my head. There's no order, very random, no order, rhyme or reason. I want you to breathe. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay, and then just find some stillness. Standing in stillness, close the eyes. Spread the weight down through your feet. And breathe. Here, we're going to just stand with our arms by the sides of our body, and we're just going to start to move the fingers. Only the fingers, really. Maybe the arms move as well. Just start to wriggle your fingers. Move them. And then the wrists, the elbows, and the shoulders, and the ankles. So tipping, coming up onto tiptoes, and down, and back up, and down. Just a few more times here, lifting and lowering at the ankle joint. Now the knees, let's bend one knee and straighten the other. Bending and straightening the knees. Bending and straightening one knee at a time. Feel the drive of your heel when it goes down, as if you're pressing onto a juicy lemon. And then let's focus on our hips, our pelvis, and allow the hips to roll in a circle. Roll the hips. And reverse the direction. And if you have music in your home, in your background there, just listening to the music. If not, just listening to the sounds that are naturally present in your environment. You can also create some sound. You could sing or hum. Use the breath. Just a few moments of just hip focus, the pelvis, letting the hips move. And here they're circling. My hands resting on the hips help me to exaggerate the movement of the pelvis, but I could also equally just get soft in the knees, and now I'm just going to roll the pelvis forward and back. If I stand sideways to the camera, maybe you can see that I'm not moving my whole body in this instant. It's still the pelvic area that is in my focus. I'm just going to move my hips forward and back. Breathing. When my hips go back, I feel my heart open without arching my back. I just naturally feel the fibers of the chest open up a little around the energy of the heart field. And then circle the hips again. So they went forward and back. Now they're circling again. Reverse the direction of the circle. And then the base of our spine comes down, fused vertebrae is around here where the hips are, and then like our middle finger here is like the point of the tailbone. You have this sort of natural handprint on the base of your spine. So now I want you to move your spine, open the legs a bit wider, get present to this bone here and the pelvis, and just move your spine. Now I notice my knees are moving, my weight is shifting, but I want to feel the movement is coming from here. Doesn't matter if any other part of the spine moves, or the head moves, or the knees move. My feet are stable, but I'm focused on this bone, this sacral bone here. That's where my focus is when I move. So I'm still just moving my hips. I'm circling them or scooping them, but I'm more exaggerating and present to the rest of my spine. Just letting the spine move, letting the head move, and breathing. My focus keeps wandering, but I'm aiming to keep my focus on here. But as I move here, I do notice that sometimes I start thinking about some other part of my body. But then I'm going to draw my attention back to my pelvis. So just getting connected with the hips. I can move my hips faster and then I notice the rest of my body kind of moves. I go into a shimmy, but my focus is still on here. A shimmy or a shake, but it's still, my focus is still on the sacral bones, the fused vertebrae. So even though I feel my legs, my chest, breasts, my chin even is wobbling, my arms are wobbling, my loose body tissue is wobbling, but my focus is still in my pelvis. But while I'm shaking, this is naturally how I felt like my body felt like moving, and I can acknowledge that it feels good. It feels good in the body to shake a little, to shake it out, to have the shoulders relax and the breath feel free. Very freed up to breathe, like nothing matters. I just don't care. I don't have to care. It's nothing important or that I'm responsible for that I need to care about in this moment. So I have no stress, anxiety, or worry. And I am completely free. And I'm just with my body, having a good time. Having a good time with my body and with all of you on our Zoom. And I'm still now focusing back on the sacral bone because I forgot about it for a moment. I was in the joy of movement and I forgot about my sacrum. But now I'm back, my mind is back, focusing, and I'm visualizing now my tail swooshing when I move my hips. However I move my hips right now, I'm imagining a long tail that drops off my tailbone down to the earth and just creating that in my imagination. Okay, so now just focus on the feet. Keep anything else moving, doesn't really matter. Just focus on the feeling of the feet. No more concern around the sacrum. And then find stillness. By the way, when I was shaking from the hips, when I was thinking of the hips, you might not have been shaking. You might still have wanted to just move in your own way. It's just I found my body shaking. And then now in the feet, also you might not shake, you might just move, but I was shaking. So if you were shaking, great. And if you weren't, let's just try all shaking. So now the suggestion is to shake, just to shake it out. And you can move your feet. I kind of shake better when I'm grounded, right? When you feel that the feet are anchored, or like two anchors under the feet, down to the core of the earth. It's a very grounding, powerful feeling. So you could just stay with that instead of moving the feet, but if your feet want to move, let them move. And then meanwhile, bring on the onset of shaking just by faking it. Just start shaking and then it may become automatic, or you may just find a rhythm of shaking that you're creating, that you just are ongoingly creating. Whew. And then actually for myself, I began to generate a bit of heat in the body. I'm glad the weather is getting a little bit cooler. Now I'm just going to lift up the heel and pull the shoulder back. So I'm going to pick up my shoulder, roll it back, pick up my heel, and then put it back down again as my shoulder blade comes down my back and my actual round shoulder joint drops away from my ear. So it comes up and down, up and down. Breathing. Find some comfort in the ease of this movement once you have a rhythm. And not to say that for everybody there is ease in the shoulder, of course, or in the movement pattern that we've just created, but just noticing where there is some ease in the body. Now I'm going to exaggerate my arm movement a little bit, so I'm just getting a little bit more connected with the arm relationship with the shoulder. Oops, yeah, picking it up, putting it down, relationship with the feet, relationship with the earth, the ground. Now, bigger movements of arms and legs brings my focus really into my limbs and the power of my limbs. So I'm just going to move my legs and my arms in any way. Forward, sideways, anything, bending the knee, straight knee, just being with the movement, with the focus on the limbs, upper and lower, arms and legs. Okay, keep going, moving limbs. Moving the arms and the legs. Okay, good. And then how about the spine? So now, taking the feet a little bit wider. Oops, hold on. Sorry, just got interrupted for a moment. Keeping the feet a little bit wider, let's roll down. If you don't want to lower your head and roll, you have any concern around blood pressure, blood sugar levels, then you just keep your head up and you just do a little bit of a squat and stand. But if you're okay, it's gently. If you have low blood sugar level or low blood pressure, it doesn't mean that you cannot ever do the rolling. You just need to be careful, maybe slow it down or spend a moment more upright in between each repetition. So just let your body move, going up and down through the space. The point is that the spine is moving, that you're really getting present to the movement of the spine. Just keep moving the spine in that way a few more times. Just a few more times, letting your spine move. Okay, good. And then last one. Okay, good. And then letting your spine still be the focus, but instead of rolling forward and back upwards, you can just let your spine move in any way. So any movement where the spine is just in your focus. Maybe you twist, the functional movement of the spine is to twist, to back bend, to forward bend, and to side bend, forward bend, back bend, and rotate. So side, left, right, front, back, and rotation. And then the segments of the spine have their own degrees of those movements, right? So you might focus just on your rib cage, those vertebrae, and think side, side, back. Just around the rib cage, rotate. In the pelvis, the lower vertebrae, you might think back, front, left, right, and rotate. So you feel these vertebrae, how they can move. Lumbar, focusing right here, and like forward, back, left, right. This is a stabilizer, so you don't get very much range in these vertebrae. They still can move in left and right direction. You want to really feel that you're bringing that on by engaging the muscles of your waist. You can really engage your waist to move the lower back to the left and right, and then to twist. But you feel it's more of an abdominal and below the navel. And the strength, we want to really, no matter what age or gender, we want our pelvic floor muscles to be very strong. That doesn't mean that they're very tight and constricted, no. They're just strong, healthy fibers. So they're healthy and strong. So pelvic floor, let's just remind ourselves of our feet being a little wider and our pelvic floor being relaxed. I'm not so sure in men if it's, well, in women, as they age, it can occur as leaking, like urination, leaking, sometimes called leaky pipes or leaky bladder, when that happens. And it's just that we lose the strength of the bladder neck to prevent the urine from leaking out. This can be one of our aging factors, and very common and very normal, and can be prevented through pelvic floor. Men, sometimes they atrophy in the muscles related to urination. So where they may not leak, they also may have problems in actually urinating because their muscles are not strong enough and lost some blood flow with age. So lost some muscle with age. So, so the key is to keep this strong no matter what your gender. So drawing the fibers of your pelvis, especially the pelvic floor, and just drawing up, following the belly, and just feeling you contract into the muscles of your pelvis. It feels for females like squeezing around the vaginal wall. I know that because I am female. For men, I've heard from male instructors and male clients, but yeah, you can still pull up around the genitals and feel it almost like pulling your external genitals inwards a little. So either way, it's a feeling of pulling inwards. So just feeling that it's not the same as squeezing the muscles of your bum. When we think of the pelvis, these muscles are a big factor as well, especially for movement. But this is more subtle and deep, internal, not external. So just letting your arms relax, the muscles of your arms relax, and just focus on the strength of the pelvic floor, the drawing upwards of the pelvic floor. Now just find your breath. Yeah. So while we're not really moving right now, like how we were before, there's a lot of focus and concentration using our get connected to the pelvic floor muscles. And then after we do this exercise in standing, we're going to go back to pelvic floor, but this time in kneeling. So we're going to kneel on the mat or floor, your house, your carpet or towel, wherever you have access to. And we're going to engage the pelvic floor muscles and move the spine. So we're going to round and arch. Round and arch. Feel the breath. Allow movement of the spine. Oh. Yeah, moving the spinal fluid. Moving the muscles, the vertebrae, tendons and ligaments, the fascia and the connective tissue, all the way from the head, down from the crown through the neck and the jaw, round through the chest and the back, around the ribs, around the abdomen and the organs, and around the pelvis. And then you're going to pull your hips back and just pop your hands on your head and rest. Oh, and then head on your hands. Your hands are just touching each other, or you could reach for a pillow or a folded towel, and you just want to let your head drop onto your hands, towel, or cushion, pillow, and just rest. Okay, good. Now, crawl onto the elbows, staying on the knees. You lift your bum up, so your bum is in the sky, that line. Head can drop, but you're on the elbows, which just gives you a bit of space. So instead of having your bum on your feet and your head on your hands, there's a space between the floor and your bum and your heels, and your head and your hands and the floor. There's space between your bum and your knees and the ground, and your head and the elbows, hands and the ground. Now just move your head. So your head, nothing else needs to move. Just let your head move. If you don't want to have your head down, you can come back a little, move your head without dropping it so much. So let your head gravitate if you can to the earth, if not, holding it up, using those muscles and just letting some freedom. Okay, so we start off with the head. Now, head and hips. So let your head and your hips move. And then pull the hips back and just rest. Last time we had the hands folded under the head, and you can do that again, or keep the hands out front. Okay, good. Now, from here, again, watch out if you don't want to feel dizzy, you can just do a little one and keep your head up. Otherwise, deeper movement would be to drop the head and to straighten the legs, the knees, as the head drops, forming a triangular shape. And just stay in this version. You may have the knees bent and looking forward, or the head dropped and legs straight, or some degree of that movement of the head and legs. So some degree of straight bending the legs. Breathing. Just breathe, holding it just a little bit longer so that we have the time for the body to open. Relationship with body. And then coming down and taking a seat. So just going to sit. Now, from here, you can put your legs into any position that feels comfortable to you, whether that's extended out, butterfly, like this. You'll notice if you sit cross-legged, if you want to raise your hips up, if the knees are very high or if the knees drop lower, and you feel good grounded with your bum on the ground. So choose the leg position that works for you. And just close your eyes, having the palms face down first of all. Take deep, full breaths. Okay, good. Now turn the palms up. Stay with the eyes closed and just breathing. Jaw relaxed, Feel the tongue, the teeth in the mouth. Bring the hands up. And now just breathing into the hands, into the heart. Here we can have an affirmation of like, I love, say your name. I can say, I love Jill. I can say more deeply, I love Jill Marshall. Or I can even say, I love Julian Sinclair Marshall, my whole name. So you can say your whole full name. You can also say, I love myself, but just getting very connected with that flow of love. All that love that flows. Staying connected and having your eyes closed. Notice as you sit for a bit longer that notice any discomfort first of all in your physical body. But also just notice how you can eventually let your breath relax. Jaw relax. Now, lift your fingers, so join them together. Bring the hands behind the head. From here, we're going to rotate to the left and right. Just ground through the hips and let your body, your rib cage, rotate left and right. Feel even in this small movement that there's already a deep stretch of the muscles of the waist, of the deep inner layer. Maybe you can't feel it, maybe you can't see it. But imagine, deep inside, not the skin on the outside, but inside where the inner ribs are. Just feel inner ribs and below towards the crest of your pelvis, around the abdomen and waist. Deeper tissue on the inside of your belly stretches as your arms are raised and you rotate. Rotate your spine. Let your eyes relax. Breathing. Feeling very peaceful as this triggers relaxation in the nervous system.
Recording in progress.
It might not be comfortable, it might not be comfortable, but it might not feel typically relaxing as we know it. So it might not be like, oh, this is relaxing. No, it's not. But for the nervous system, feel this sway. For the breath. Be with the discomfort and the comfort and everything the way it is. Of course, if it's too uncomfortable, move and adapt to suit your level of comfort or position. Okay, good. And then remove the arms and let the shoulders relax. Let the head wobble about freely on its ball bearing, the saddle joint at the top of the neck. Just let your head move, your jaw relax. Okay, good. And then from here, we're going to extend our legs in a seated position. You can raise your bum up if you want. Your legs are straight or almost straight as feet. And then we draw our head towards our feet. So our head is up here. We want to get it towards our feet. So we're just going to fold, have the arms in front, and just relax. Again, relaxing is something that the nervous system will do in certain positions, but it may not feel our understanding of relaxed if the body feels uncomfortable or tight. You might lean forward more, you might reach your toes, you might not reach your toes. Then you want to come up and slide your bum towards your feet. This time we're going to peel our spines down gently onto the ground, draw our chin into our chest, and we're just going to lift up 1 foot at a time. And then back down again. So we pick up the foot and let the knee travel, not all the way in, just to knee above hip, and then place the foot back down again. So the hips are on the ground, the head is on the ground, and all the vertebrae between the hips and the head are lengthened with space. The foot lifts, the knee follows, and it stops above the hip bone and goes back to the ground. Inhale, exhale. One leg up, down, other leg up. How about now, when one is up, one is down, we switch. Here you might want to press your thumb underneath your bum. So press your bum onto your thumb and imprint your lower back. And then let one leg up as you let the other leg down. And notice the chin is tucked in. Chin is tucked in. Okay, good. Now, bring both knees in towards your chest. Both knees, and just hug, hugging yourself. Take a deep and full breath in and out. Just hugging your knees into your chest, rocking on your lower back. From here, I want us to stretch our legs a little bit. So we're going to take them up towards the sky. Just let the legs go up towards the sky and then point and flex your feet. Point and flex your feet. Breathe in. Okay, good. Now the knees, just going to ride a bicycle. So the knee bends and straightens, left and right side, alternating by cycling. You can have your arms by the sides of your body, or again, the thumb tucked underneath the bum. Breathe as you let your legs cycle you somewhere nice. Cycling along, maybe like today's weather, a beautiful temperature. Some breeze, some sunshine, and then reverse the direction. And then let both legs go up towards the sky. Shoulders are still relaxed. Okay, good. Hands go by the sides or tucked under. And then from here, just bend your knees and straighten them up again. Bend and straighten the knees a few times. So you're bending and straightening. Bending and straightening. Already you can do quite a lot of work for your quadriceps, front and backs of the thighs. Okay, last one. Now just let your legs go wide open. Just let your left and right leg go wide, fall open, and let your jaw relax. Soften the knees now. Hold on to your feet. So place your feet up in the sky, but bend your knees. Hold on to your ankles or your actual foot. You can hold on to the outside with the baby toe or the inside with the big toe, or you can catch hold, wrapping your first two fingers around your big toe. This is from a yoga pose called Happy Baby. Just again in connection, being a happy baby. Just let the hips rock. And just let your legs move. Like a little happy baby, staying in the crib on its back, moving the pelvis. Okay, good. And then hug in, and then let the hips go left and right. Place the feet onto the ground. Take your arms into a T shape and your knees out to the left and right. So your knees fall out to the left and right, and the arms are open so that your hips can open at the front and your shoulders and chest can open. So you're like an opened frog legs or butterfly. And here, just breathe deeply into the rib cage. From here, you can bring your 2 feet flat and your knees back so they point to the sky. And then you want to take your arm by the side of your head and roll towards that arm so that your head rests on your arm as a pillow and your 2 legs, knees stick out in front. Open and close the top leg. Hollow the belly. And just let the top leg move. When I say follow the belly, I mean pull the navel inwards towards your spine, bringing some awareness and attention to your navel. Your navel, that connection, life force to mother, to our own mother. So to our biological mother, and there's a connection through time to all the feminine lineage, through mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, great-great-great-great-great, etc. Just feel awareness of this power of this feminine energy, and masculine and feminine both good, right? But just having equal amounts of both is wonderful. But just feeling this sort of feminine power around the navel as the top leg moves. And you may feel muscularly that the muscles around the bum and thigh are working. Okay, good. Then we want to change leg. So you can roll over on your back to the other side, or like me, you can just get up and transfer over to the other side. So that your other arm is down, either way, whether you roll over or change the direction, and that you can lift and lower your top leg. Breathe as you let the top leg move. breathing, relaxing, letting go. So moving the top leg, keeping the abdominals engaged, keeping the jaw and shoulder relaxed. And then from here, we're just going to roll onto our tummy. So face down, rolling onto the belly. And then from here, we want to, you can see, I'm not sure if my whole mat is on the camera, but here, your head can be down, resting on your hands, all sideways. And then you just let the leg stretch back. You could also have your chin on your hands, or your chin on the floor, but that's probably a little bit too low in terms of pressure on the neck. You would feel that, and then you would want to move if it's uncomfortable. So recommended position would be chin on stacked hands, or cheek on stacked hands, or pillow. And then the exercise is to stretch the leg back. Keep the hips open to the ground, so they're naturally open when you lie on the ground, and you press your bones into the mat. Pressing your bones into the mat. Alternating. So one on one leg, and then the other leg. And then lifting both up. Relaxed toes. Lifting both up, both up, both up. Lifting the head and legs. You can move the legs. Your chin has come away from your hands, pillow or the ground, and your head is now raised. And then your legs are moving. Like scissors, out and in, out and in. And then bring the arms back and squeeze the shoulders together. Point the toes. Pull the shoulder blades down your back. And then press your hands underneath you and push yourself back up onto your knees. Pull your knees underneath your chest. And then take a seat and come down. Back to this resting position that helps to balance our nervous system. By now, we're really connected with our mind, our body, and our emotions. Then come onto all fours again. And from here, you can let your spine move again. Anything goes, movement-wise. Just let your head move, your shoulders move, your spine. Head to one side, other side, the middle, raised side, side, middle, spine moving, hips moving, round, arch, back, shifting the weight. Just let the breath flow and the spine flow together in the movement. And then toes come under, we come back up into the down dog. diagonally forward and then dropping into a forward bend. Now again, if you don't feel comfortable dropping your head, though, if you don't have any condition that is compromised by that, it's a very healthy thing to do, to have the heart above the head, oxygenate and get the blood flow into the head and brain. So it's a very good thing to do, unless the side effect is that your contraindication is that you're very dizzy or lightheaded or have any condition around blood pressure. If you're okay to have your head in full surrender, go for it. If you don't want to surrender fully for any reason, keep the head raised. Either way, you can still have a feeling of soften the knees, round back. Even if the head's up, you can round the back and stretch. Then let's come back up into standing and go back into anything goes movement-wise. Just find that nice sway of the body. Find your rhythm as you just move freely. Just move the body freely. Yeah, okay. I want us to also today incorporate tapping, because I've learned something new about it. So we could, let's sit. So take a seat, whether it's on your floor surface or on a chair or bed or sofa, whatever is around you. Just upright spine, so we're sitting. Okay, we're just going to do the tapping practice that we do from the technique called Body Talk system. Taking one hand and cupping the back of the head. Taking the other hand and just crossing over both hemispheres of your brain, left and right. So just making sure your hand isn't all on one side or the other. This hand is just on the back of your head. And then you're just going to gently tap. Now, here you're going to tap the heart and the gut. So you're going to tap around your navel or below your navel, somewhere around here, above or below. Back to the head, to the heart, to the belly, to the head. Stimulates. And then we're going to move the hand to the back of the head, across the middle of the back of the head. Keep the tapping hand, tapping each section of brain, heart, gut. Brain, heart, gut. Inhale and exhale, breathing fully as you tap. Move the hand to the top forward section of your head. And if you need to tap on top of your hand, that's fine. Continuing with this practice of bringing the hand from head to the heart to the belly, back to the head, to the heart, to the belly. And then the hand is on the actual forehead, eyebrows just covering above your eyebrows or around the height of the eyebrows. As you breathe. And then the sides of the head, so just hold on to one side of your head and just feel this tapping out. Other hand switches to the side of the head, the other hand becomes the tapping hand, left and right hemisphere of the brain, heart, belly, head, heart, belly. One more time, head. Heart, keep breathing, belly. Now the shoulders and neck, they get tight with all that upper arm lifting. So just releasing tension out. Letting the head go. And then finding the center. Let's just sit in the center with our eyes closed for a moment. Bring our hands onto the lower part of the belly. We just want to breathe into our physical body, our physical realm, really being connected with the physical as we breathe into the hands on the belly, just resting on the belly. Eyes gently closed. Back. And then just bringing your hands at the heart, bow down to yourself. Acknowledging yourself, being in the session today and making your health a priority. And just whenever you feel ready, let your head float. And then from here, we complete our session today.